What's happening, everybody? Comically Flawed coming to you, Adam, with a contest entry video. So this is a video entry into Alex the Comic Horder's 200 sub contest. So I hope everybody is already subbed to his channel. Alex is putting on some great content. He has a great collection of books and just a really, really genuine dude who is doing a lot for the YouTube comic community and is really just taking off. I think it's a 200 sub contest, and he's up over like probably two or three or 400 now. I'm not even sure. So anyway, tonight is the deadline to get this contest video filmed, and I tell you, I don't know what's happened to me with this contest video. This is the fourth time I think I've tried to film this, and every time the video has gotten corrupted. I don't really know what the deal is with that. So we're going to give it one more shot and see if we can get this in before the deadline. I think it only gets me one entry being this late. But hey, that's all right. You know, I'm really just doing it to support Alex and his channel. So it's all good. So anyway, if anybody's not subscribed to Alex's channel already, please go do that. So the contest rules, I'm trying to remember. I didn't write them all down. 18, I think, was one of them. I've got that covered by a long shot. Subscribe to a bunch of people that he has listed below in the video, and I've already done that. I think I was subscribed to a lot of them already. So the next thing is he wants you to shout out some YouTube channels that you either enjoy or you wanted to give props to or bring attention to or whatever. So I made a list of actually about 7 here, and I'll try to post the links to all these down below. So the first 3 are 3 that I watch a lot. Make sure to check everything. Well, I try to keep up with everything that everybody puts out, but it takes a lot of time. But anyway, I always try to keep up with these 3. And that's Exile State Comics, Buckshot 33, and the Comic Board, which is a newer channel, but it's JT and Blackpole. And all 3 of those folks are putting out some great content every week. They do weekly haul videos. They do back issues. Exile State and Buckshot have a wealth of knowledge on back issues and first appearances and historical storylines. And then also with the new stuff. And then Comic Board, those guys do a great live show every week. I think it's Tuesday at 11 a.m. I'm going to get that wrong, 11 a.m. Eastern, where they go into depth of voting on their top 5 of the last week and what they're looking forward to for the upcoming week and going into storylines and stuff. Those are really great watches. The other 4 I wanted to shout out, all 4 of these I believe are under 100 subs, at least the last time I looked. And that's Thomas Churchill, Marvin88, Bat Avenger, and Abject Kid. And again, I'll try to put links to all these below. But yeah, go out and check out these guys' channels. They're putting out some great content, and sub them up and give them some love. So anyway, for this contest, Alex wanted you to show a couple of books or a lot of books, or talk about your favorite character or storyline or anything like that. So I got a couple ideas how I'm going to tackle this. I got a few books out here, and then I'm going to kind of mix this up a little bit. So, but the first book I got out here is Batman. Probably my 2 favorite characters growing up are Batman and as a younger child, and then later on I love Spawn. So I always thought Batman was just a great character. No real superpowers, but still got it done. So yeah, one of my favorites. So I've got this one up here. This is Batman number 50 from the New 52. So one of the things I'm working on is the New 52 run. I only have a few issues here and there, but really would like to complete that. So that's one of the things I'd really like to work on going forward. And since I mentioned it, this kind of covers 2 things. Hopefully the glare is not terrible. Not real sure, guys. We got Spawn number 1. It's in a CBCS 9.8. I was able to pick that up, just wanted to have it. I know I've talked about this before and showed this book several times, but Spawn just kind of, when I was first into collecting comics back in the very late 80s and early 90s, Spawn came along and it just kind of changed what I thought a comic book could be. And Todd McFarlane's art just really blew me away. So, and ever since then, McFarlane has been one of my favorite artists. I took a long hiatus from collecting, but some of those early McFarlane books were right there when my first go around. The Spider-Man run, his Spider-Man run, and also his work on Amazing Spider-Man. And then Spawn came along and the other Image titles. So, I really just, I love Spawn. I don't know if I'll get all of them, but I keep saying that, but I'll probably end up working toward all of them. Although the ones from like 100 to 199, I'm not real sure those books exist. Anyway, they're in so low print runs and never really find them in boxes and stuff. So there's that. Big, huge Spawn fan. The other one I wanted to show is, and I'll show this one for a couple reasons, it'll make sense here in a few minutes, is Deadpool. This is Deadpool number 7 from third series. I collect Deadpool. I've got the current one on my pull list, along with the mini series like Back in Black and Too Soon, and I'm trying to go back and pick up a lot of the older ones. But I enjoy collecting Deadpool just because it's always good for a laugh, and that's part of what comics are supposed to be. I enjoy collecting cover art. I keep up with the stories, and I try to read all my books, even though I'm way behind. But I do collect them as art first. But when I do read them, I want to be entertained, and Deadpool's always good for that. So that's one thing I collect. And then the last one here, just kind of an oddball. I've showed maybe one of these books before. Not exactly sure which ones, but is Peanuts. I am a big Snoopy fan, so always have been since I was a little kid. And I'm not sure if that whole book's showing up in the camera shots. Let's tilt this a little bit. But I've always loved Charlie Brown, always Snoopy. Love Snoopy. Always try to watch, Charlie Brown Christmas every year and The Great Pumpkin and all that. And so when I found out about this run of the early Peanuts, it's 13 issues from the late 50s through the early 60s. I've been going back and trying to get all these. This is Peanuts number 6 in CGC 8.5. So a really nice grade copy there. Kind of looks like it's got a wave in it, but it's also, I think it's just kind of an optical illusion right there. I've got about half of these, and there's about half I still have to get. So, but that's one of my things I collect. I also collect the 2 newer series of Peanuts, Kaboom, from Kaboom Studios, and have quite a few of those. So I'm working on those runs as well. But huge Charlie Brown and Snoopy fan. So, that's it for the books I got out to show. And then what I thought I'd do, just because it kind of talked about, kind of gave some insight to my collecting history, is I know a lot of people do these every year, and I thought I'd just roll it into Alex's video, since we're supposed to kind of talk about what we collect and what our collection is and what we want it to be. So I took a, I'll run my mouth and put this back up here for a minute. So my collection is, again, I collected in the early 90s, for a few years, and then I quit, and I just got back into it about 6 months ago. So, and all those books I had back in the day are gone. So when I started 6 months ago, I kind of started from scratch. So the good thing about that, bad thing is there's still a lot of stuff I have to go back and pick up, things I've missed, etc. Good thing about that is I can kind of buy whatever I want. I can shape my collection going forward. I can do a lot of different things. So it's been interesting, kind of relearning what's out there. Also trying to keep up with new stuff as it comes out. Finding out what I missed, replacing stuff that I knew about or had and is gone. So what I thought I'd do is, I know a lot of people do these every year, and I thought I'd just roll in. I think I'm repeating myself. Is put up my list of 2017 comic goals. I wrote that in green because it was the only pen I could find. I really hope that's showing up on camera right now. So I guess we'll scoot that in just a little bit. I guess we'll find out shortly. I wanted to go over these and, like I say, kind of just like talk a little bit about each one of them briefly and some of the things I collect and what I'm going for in 2017. For me, my budget and the grand total sum of these things all together, this is a big list for me. So I don't know if all these things will actually happen, but hey, it's good to have them written down and something to shoot for. So number one is Incredible Hulk 340. I'd like to get that in like a 9.2 to 9.6. Obviously, up in 9.6, it starts getting pretty pricey. Yeah, I've mentioned I'm a huge McFarlane fan. McFarlane, Michael Turner, J. Scott Campbell. I do like J. Scott Campbell's art. I don't really have much of his, just a few things here and there. But I really enjoy looking at his pictures, his artwork online. And then a lot of the Adam Hughes stuff I've been seeing that everybody's been posting lately is really awesome. So, I'm an art first, cover first guy. I really enjoy that and really appreciate books as works of art. Incredible Hulk 340 is just a classic McFarlane cover. So that one's up there to get. These are they're written 1 through 15, but they're not really in any particular order. The next two, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero #1 and Transformers #1. That's G.I. Joe, the first series from like 1982, and Transformers from 1984. The first series of both of those. I'd like to get the #1s of both of those. I mean that's in my wheelhouse of my childhood. So I love both those growing up. Watched the cartoons, played with the toys. So I'd like to get, and in all these, I'll take reader copies, but I'm really shooting for, if I can, well, not for all of them maybe, but 9.0 and above, is what I'd like to go for. So next we got Batman #1. That's #1 from the New 52 run, the Snyder Capullo. I've been watching the price on that book fall a little bit, so I may kind of hold out a little while. I'm going to move this around just in case the camera is not showing it and whatever. I've watched the price of that one fall for a little bit, so I'm going to try to get my hands on that one pretty soon. Next two are, I'll work on that entire Batman New 52 run as I see it, just because I want to complete that whole run. Next two are two of the Peanuts books I'm missing, #10 and #7. 7 I've mentioned before is the bane of my existence. I thought I had that book nailed in like a stupid high, like 9.2 grade, and then when I went to buy it, I bought it. I paid or agreed to pay full price for it, and then was told that it was an old listing and they didn't have the book anymore. Go figure. But so those are two of the about 6 that I need. So I just picked those two at random. But 7 is really the hardest one to track down. So I'd like to try to make that happen. And that one probably, I'd take like an 8 or above, or 7 above, really. It's kind of what I'm going for there. At this point, I'd like to find it, period. But whatever. So the next couple are Amazing Spider-Man books. Like I said, I'm a Batman fan, but I do like Spider-Man, and I think throughout the years, the Spider-Man covers and some of the Spider-Man villains have been a lot better. Occasionally, the Spider-Man art's better, at least on the covers. Even though I appreciate Batman more as a character, so I'm working on some Spider-Man runs throughout here and there. But the ones I've got listed here are 316. That's the first Venom cover. That's the one where he's kind of choking out Spider-Man, got him down and choking him out. And then 361, that is the first, everybody knows that one, I'm sure. That's the first appearance of Carnage. I had that book back in the day. Go figure, whatever. And then 601 and 529 are probably a little more affordable, depending on the grade. 601 is the J. Scott Campbell with Mary Jane on the couch and Spider-Man kind of hanging out outside. So just a beautifully done cover. So I'd like to grab that. And then 529 is just a really cool cover that I've seen recently. That's the first Iron Spider suit, I guess. I've got those on the list. Getting long-winded, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up quick, guys. The next one are Iron Man 128. Hence why I showed that earlier, kind of a dual play. Again, I like Deadpool, but also that's the Iron Man 128 is the demon in the bottle. That book is pricey, depending on how high you go in grade. So that one may be tough. Next is Batman 310. Batman 310 is kind of representative of a group of comic books Nothing really special about Batman 310 other than the date it was printed, and that's from the month I was born. So I'm trying to get all the books in from the month I was born. I already have the Spider-Man, the Avengers, and Thor. I think the Thor I have raw. The Spider-Man and the Avengers I have slabbed in a 9. Oh goodness, I have to break them out. Look, 9.4, 9.6. So I'm trying to get a lot of the books from that month just because I thought it'd be kind of cool. So yeah, the next two are two Spawn books that kind of represent a larger group, but these are two of the two I picked out specifically. Spawn 150 number C. That's one of the McFarlane covers for 150. I think that's about a $30 book or so. And then Spawn 227. There's a run of Spawn from, let's say, 221. I think 221 is the Amazing Spider-Man or Amazing Fantasy 15 cover swipe. There's a group from 221 to about 232, I guess, that are all cover swipes of classic comic books on Spawn. And 227 is the Amazing Spider-Man 300 cover swipe. So I'd like to get a lot of those different ones. There is one that's a cover swipe of Hulk 340. I'm trying to think. There's one that's the Incredible Hulk Annual, I believe it is. So I'd like to get a couple of those to kind of fill in the Spawn run. And just those are some really cool covers. And then the last one I added, G.I. Joe number 21. Again, this is from the original series. That's the first appearance of Storm Shadow. And if I'm not mistaken, no, I'm going to get this wrong. Is that the silent issue? Maybe. So we're not going to talk about that since I'm going to get that wrong. And I'm not 100% sure. I think it is. But it's definitely the first appearance of Storm Shadow. I know that. So yeah, that's my list for 2017. And, I hope that kind of gives, talks a little bit about my kind of style of collecting. I collect other stuff too. I know I showed a big run of Fathom and Michael Turner's art that I grabbed. I'd like to get some more J. Scott Campbell, and just kind of start filling in some other holes. And who knows what else will spark my interest going forward. So anyway, that's it. Alex, thank you so much for doing this contest, man. It's super generous of you to, be giving back to the community like this. You are putting out some stellar content. I've seen acts of kindness that you send to people. I mean, you're really just like a stand-up guy and doing it upright, and really, very giving of your time and your comics and everything to the community. So we really appreciate it, man. Good luck, and I guess pretty soon we'll see you at 5, 6, who knows. Pretty soon you'll be up there with Don Comic Book Junkie at like 1,500 subs or whatever. So anyway, y'all have a good night. Have a good weekend. Hope everybody, we're getting close to Christmas. And Merry Christmas and take care. Cheers.